Did you know you could profit from your Amazon returns? It's crazy that all of the returns you get on Amazon are generally disposed of either by the seller or by Amazon automatically. I'm about to show you two creative ways that you can use to optimize your returns so that way you can still make a little bit of money. Do not let your Amazon returns get disposed of. I'm about to show you how to profit from all of your returns moving forward. That way you can continually feed your business with new streams of profit. And don't forget, if you love videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel and joining my private Facebook group. I'll have a link below in the description for you. Alright, so now how do you actually profit from your returns? Well, it's super simple. When you go to your settings right here, go ahead and click on return settings, and after you click on return settings, you're going to click on the third tab and you're going to select your default return address. And right there, you can go ahead and put your return address so that way anytime a customer initiates a return and Amazon refunds them, they need to go ahead and send the product directly back to you. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you don't have a return address, Amazon's going to do one of two things. They're going to either discard your inventory or they're going to resell it under Amazon warehouse deals. A lot of sellers have had this happen to their listing, so to protect your listing and to take more control over your profits, go ahead and change the return address and put your return address so that way you can get all returns directly sent to yourself. So in order to repurpose your returns, you need to get them directly sent to yourself. And once you receive these returns, you're going to go ahead and repackage them. But in order to repackage your returns, you obviously need a few extra boxes or bags for your particular product. Now, this first strategy only works if the product is still good. Let's say the customer ordered too many quantities, or the color was off, or the size was wrong. So they didn't actually use the product, or they got the wrong color, something to that nature, that the product itself was not used. In that case, you can take the product out of the opened packaging and put it in a new packaging and send it back to Amazon FBA. Or what you could do is, if it's opened and you don't want to sell it as new and you want to be on the extra safe side, you can actually just relist it on your listing as used like new. And believe it or not, depending on what your product is, there are a lot of sales to be made under the used like new option. So let's say you sell about 500 units a month and the average return rate on Amazon is 5% on average. It could be a little bit more or a little bit less for yourself. But let's just take the 5% average return rate. Now that'll be 25 units a month in returns, and if you multiply that times 12, that's 300 units in potential sales you could make as used like new. Now as you can see, those numbers really begin to add up. And if you have healthy margins in your business, you can actually send those used like new units as FBA. If not, if you do want to save on fees, you can be merchant fulfilled. Again, it's not like you're going to be doing 50 to 100 units a day in return, so you'll always be at the post office. In a very practical sense, you can have FBA do it if the fees make sense for you. But if not, if you just want to make those extra, 5% in sales a month and used like new, you're going to completely recycle your inventory. So instead of just letting it go to being disposed or potentially having Amazon sell it for you, go ahead and make the profit yourself, right? That's extra profit you can reinvest back into your business, and a lot of people do not even know they can do this. And so what you're going to want to do is once you receive your inventory in returns, repackage it. So from your manufacturer, you just got to get a few extra units of packaging, and you'll go ahead and once a customer orders the used like new, you can merchant fulfill it or FBA fill it. Again, you're not going to be living at the post office, and depending on what your margins are, you can even have Amazon do all of the legwork for yourself. Okay, so what do you do if the inventory returned is not exactly pristine? So you don't necessarily want to risk a potential negative review if you send a semi-used product and listed it as used like new. So you can still profit from your inventory, but you're just not going to resell it on your listing. So the way you're going to profit in this scenario is you're going to still receive your returns directly to your household or your fulfillment center, and you're going to send the inventory and list it on a liquidation site. There are plenty of liquidation and wholesale websites that will buy your inventory in bulk. So if you have a bunch of returns and they just sell the box of returns, and buyers know what they're getting, and sellers, you're not going to make as much money as you would relisting it as used like new. But in the scenario that the quality is, let's say average, and you don't want to risk a negative review, you can still sell it wholesale and you'll still make some cash from your returns. Now, if you're doing, again, 5% in returns, and let's say on average about 25 units a month, these are being very modest numbers, you can still get all of that inventory and send it to someone who wants to buy your stuff so they can do with it what they want. And you're not going to make as much money, but you can still get some sort of a ROI and not eat a loss completely. And another thing to add to that is these buyers know exactly the type of inventory they're getting. You can literally put, like on a website like liquidation.com right here, you can actually put your inventory and just say use or just sell or return. So they know that the conditions are, they can be good, they can be all right, but either way, you're still going to have them compete in an auction to buy your stuff. And it's pretty neat. So this last strategy is incredibly powerful. Now, did you know you can actually set up with your manufacturer an agreement ahead of time that for any products that are defected upon arrival, that they need to reimburse you in inventory your next order coming up? So what does that mean? So when you're re-upping for your next batch of inventory, go ahead and make an Excel sheet, and all of the customer returns that you get with the label defect, or even if they leave you a review, go ahead and put this customer information in an Excel sheet and send that directly to your manufacturer and say, hey, look, you sent me this product, I paid for this product, however, when the customer got it, it was defected. Now, this is going to probably account for maybe 1% of your inventory, and believe it or not, though it sounds far-fetched, and manufacturers are going to be like, well, that's out of our control, maybe the shipping was terrible or whatever. They're actually more willing to work with you than you actually think. I've had my manufacturers send me thousands of units over the years and customer defects. Some units we sell a ton of inventory a month, and so we have higher numbers in returns, and just from a numbers game, they're not all 100% perfect. Now, again, some of these issues can be shipping related, but it still does not beat getting free inventory directly from your manufacturer, but you do have to get organized with it. And the way you get organized with it is, like I just mentioned, you build an Excel sheet, and for all of the lists of returns that you get that are under the option defected, so it didn't work upon arrival, whatever your product is. Now, it's not going to work for colors and wrong size. That's the customer's fault for doing, for not reading what they were getting, or unless Amazon mixed up your inventory. But that's neither here nor there. What we're going over is defect upon arrival. And so if the customer didn't even, they used it and it didn't even work, let's say you're selling webcam, and the webcam from your manufacturer, you see that a customer returned it because as soon as they plugged it into their laptop or the desktop computer, the light didn't turn on and it didn't work at all. So that's out of your control. So you can send that unit. You won't send it back to your manufacturer, but you can make a note and send an Excel sheet with the order numbers and send it to your manufacturer and say, hey, look, can you reimburse me these 50 units for the past 3 months? We've got 50 to 100 returns that the items were defected. And you do have to structure this type of agreement ahead of time. So if you haven't already, on your next batch of inventory, go ahead and draw out these terms with your manufacturer and make sure it's in black and white. You can even draw up a contract and send that contract, have them sign it, and they will sign it because they want your business for the next order, okay? And that also ensures that the quality of product that they continually send you is only of the highest of quality, okay? Long story short, I have recently had a product from a manufacturer This particular product costs $32 a unit. It is extremely expensive. And upon the sample shipment, one of the units was actually broken. So between me and my partner, we looked at the unit and we're like, okay, his wasn't broken, mine was. So you can really see that because I ordered these samples ahead of time, we can draw up this agreement, and I'll even have proof with the manufacturer saying, hey, look, I received one that was broken. You're a very reputable manufacturer, but we do need to draw up this contract saying that when you send the inventory and my customer, let's say, receives one broken for whatever reason, you will reimburse me in inventory. It saves your butt and it saves a lot of money for you as an Amazon seller. So the whole process of everything we just went over is how to turn your business into an evergreen business. What's an evergreen business? Well, it's essentially making sure that each cycle of your business as an Amazon seller is not falling in a pothole. You're looking at every single optimal point where you can draw revenue and optimize your business for efficiency. So evergreen means it's feeding off of itself to continually get better, and you're minimizing your losses as a seller. You're minimizing to the max capacity your losses, right? And a lot of sellers do not even know that they can profit from their returns or even get reimbursed inventory from your manufacturer. So I hope this was an exciting training. Draw up these contracts, send them to your manufacturer, and make sure that they look at the fine print, because it will also increase their productivity and product quality if they know it's going to come out of their pocket if something is wrong with a few of your units. You do not have to eat those costs completely as an Amazon seller. Now, if you want to boost your keyword ranking for one of your products, it doesn't matter if it's brand new or old, and you're starting to see that your PPC campaigns are getting a little pricey, you should really consider using ZonRush to launch your product. Our Amazon product launch service is 100% within Amazon's terms of service, and we're results driven. You can look at our website right here, and you can see we actually post our weekly launch results for total transparency. Thank you so much for staying to the very end of this video, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. That way you never miss an awesome Amazon training, and also consider joining my private group. I'll have a link below in the description for you, and that's where you can communicate directly with me, because it's really hard for me to respond directly to the emails I get. So it's best to join the group where we can actually have a conversation. And of course, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would love some of your feedback. So if you can leave me some of your feedback in the video below, I will know how to match more content to fit your needs. Well, like always, guys, I'll see you on the next video.